to Vivi Talks. Today my talk is about immune system. I have classified this subject into two parts, which is the talk about immune system and how the immune system protects our body. First of all, let's talk about immune system. Immune system is like an army that protects our body from any threat. That is viruses, bacteria, fungi, parasites, etc. Now, the immune system is divided into two parts, which is the native immune system and the adaptive immune system. The native immune system is the immune system that you have from your birth, and the adaptive immune system is also known as the biggest library in the whole world and kicks in when the certain disease affects your body. It is known as the biggest library in the whole world is because it has an antidote or an antibody for every single disease. You have an antibody for the Black Death, the coronavirus, and even a disease that may come in the future. And then you may have a doubt, that is, why are people dying from diseases? It's because the T cell is the one that protects our body or has the antidote, and it takes a while to activate itself. That's why a lot of people die from diseases. Then you may be asking, how will vaccines help you, or how are vaccines helping us? It's because vaccines are the miniature model of the disease that we need to face, or a weaker model. So when this weaker or miniature model of the disease gets in your body or injected into your body, it may not cause you a lot of harm, and it gives the time for the T cells to be activated and defeat the virus. Once the T cell is activated, it stays as a memory cell, and whenever the disease strikes again, it can strike back immediately. Now you may be asking, how do we have the antibody or antidote for every single disease that is to come or has come? It is because the cells or the T cells have permission from the body to change its DNA, as every cell is created with protein pieces which are like a puzzle piece of life. When you fit two of them together, you get another result. And this is how they change their genetic formula and they get a new cell. I'll explain this with an example. That is, if three chefs have 100 ingredients in front of them, then they will be not creating 100 dishes, but multiple dishes. That's because different combination of different ingredients may give us another dish. The same happens in our body, but there is a lot more of ingredients here. Now, these two cells have receptors that may match to every single bacteria that is present. But there is a problem, that is, it also may match to one of the cells that protect the body or one of the cells that we need. And to avoid this problem, there is an organ that is right on top of the heart, which is the thymus. The thymus shrinks the more you are old. Now, the thymus prevents the immune system or the newly made cells, the T cells, from attacking our own cells. This is by taking the T cells or the newly formed T cells to a place called the mother university. The mother university provides these T cells with some of the receptors. The body provides it with some receptors. And if any of these T cells are attracted to these receptors, or like these receptors then they will be destroyed immediately, because those are the receptors, or those are one of the receptors of our cells. And at the end of this process, there will be only 2% of T cells left. For example, if 100 T cells went into the mother university, only 2 T cells will come out successfully. Then another example is, if there is 1,000 T cells, then only about 20 of them will come. Now, after these cells, or the 2% of the T cells who have come out successfully, will be sent to the biggest library in the world, which is the adaptive immune system, to be activated whenever the disease which is related to it has attacked our body. I will be saying about the symptoms that we have when we are attacked by a virus, fungi, parasite, bacteria, etc. These are some common knowledge, but still I am going to talk about them. Which is, the first one, we have cough, headache, vomiting. Then there will be fatigue, we'll be feeling fatigue or losing power. It's all because our immune system is fighting against a threat, and all our energy is sent to our immune system for the fighting. That's also the reason why our heartbeat increases when we are having a disease, because the heart needs to pump as much as blood that is needed, because it also increases the amount of soldiers or the immune system, or for the soldiers for the immune system. Back to the point. One of the problems, or one of the many problems that our immune system faces, are the bacteria or the viruses mutating. When they mutate, they may be able to camouflage like a cell, or maybe our security system or our sensors may not be able to sense their presence. It almost will be like cancer, because our cells or our immune system can't even find which is the cancer cells, because they all have the same protein pieces, as I said before. Because cancer is a disease that affects the cells, which makes them almost having the same protein pieces. Now, about the bacteria, they may camouflage and get into our body. That's their main priority, because when a cut happens in our hand, the bacteria will come in, but they can't go to war immediately, because they will get destroyed as their number is very few. But when they camouflage, they will directly go into a cell of our body, or they will inject their genetic genes into a cell and start multiplying rapidly. After about 1 hour, the cell will explode, and thousands of bacteria will come out. And now only does the war begin, as the bacteria goes on infecting more cells to get more numbers on their side, or more cells or more bacteria on their side. And then they start to attack. This is when you have some problems, or you see the symptoms of the disease. In case of corona itself, it takes you about 1 week or 5 days to see the actual, like having throat problems or having swag. It's because that's the time when the virus attacks our body. Till that time, the virus has been multiplying in your own cells. The immune system can only fight off unicellular organisms. And one example of that is the roundworms and ascaris that comes or invades our body and sits in our intestines and stomach do not get attacked by our immune system, because they are protected. And now, there is also one small key thing that a lot of people might be thinking right now after this explanation. That is, how are some of the protein pieces combining are said through genetic or by changing the genetics or genes of some of the T cells. But there is also another way. That is, when there is a lot of protein pieces lying around here and there, one of them gets activated suddenly and they just have a chain reaction and start activating every single one of those protein pieces. For example, when you keep a lot of matchsticks together and start to light them, then all of them starts to get on fire. The same happens here, as every protein cell gets activated, and once they are activated, they try to find their puzzle piece. For example, here I have 4 inserts, then another piece like this can get in and join together like a puzzle. And once it's actually joined together, it has a new purpose. Before, when it was alone, it didn't have a lot of purpose, but when it's joined, it is activated and is a new cell, a new protein piece. Now let's go to the topic of how the immune system actually attacks the bacteria, the invading bacteria, and protect our body. Now let's start with the first thing, that is, you went to a park and you got a small scratch in your finger from a dirty twig. But for you it will be a really annoying little thing, but inside your body it's a very bad serious problem, because inside your finger now blood is everywhere. There's also dirt, and to make matters worse, bacteria are pouring in and starting to steal your resources, injure and kill your cells, and even start pooping around everywhere. In a panic, all the cells of your body start to release chemicals, or the cells near the wound start to release chemicals, which activates the first line of defense, which are the macrophages. Macrophages are exponentially big. For example, if a cell of our body is equivalent to a human, then the macrophage will be as big as a rhino. Now, these macrophages, when they are annoyed, are really dangerous. It's almost like the rhino. When they are annoyed, they are dangerous. And you know what annoys the macrophages? Yes, it is the invading bacteria, virus, fungi, parasite, etc. And these macrophages go to the battlefield and extend their octopus-like hands and catch their enemy and swallows them completely and start digesting them. This process keeps on going on. Then they start to release a small enzyme that actually activates another second line of defense, which are the neutrophils from the blood vessels. The neutrophils are like a suicide bombers. When they are activated, they will start to spew out chemicals which stick together the bacteria, and then they start to kill them. They are so reckless about killing that they kill themselves after 2 or 3 days, because they don't want our cells to be destroyed. But still, they are so careless about killing these enemies that they start to kill some of our own cells. But that doesn't matter right now, because there is a bigger threat to finish off. Some of the neutrophils take off their death so seriously that they explode into a blue chemical that sticks together and kills all the bacteria which is made out of their DNA. But some of the neutrophils still fight after their sort of death too. because they have that much fun killing. And after this part of the fight, our war is almost over. But if it isn't over and our immune system is actually defeated or weakened by the bacteria, which means the bacteria is so powerful or the virus is so powerful, then our third line of defense, which is the dendrites, kick in. They're more of like the intelligence officers. They get into the battlefield and start collecting data. Like they pick up some of the parts of the bacteria, rub themselves with this powder, and then they will go into the blood vessels or the immune blood vessels, and they will start to go around touching T cells. And some of the T cells will be disgusted, irritated from this powder. But after about some hours, the dendrite will find the needed T cells. And it will activate this T cell. It will start multiplying like 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16 and on. After there's about 1,000 of them or more, they will split up into two groups. One straight up goes to the battlefield and the other goes for finding more help. Now the T cells in the battlefield, a lot of macrophages are going down to sleep after fighting for a long time like all of his friends. But these T cells go near to the macrophage and whispers something in his ear with chemical formulas. Now, when this chemical gets into it, it gets enraged and wake up. But this time, it's more raged and more powerful. It straight up attacks the bacteria or the threat or the enemy. And the other party, which is the second team, goes to the B cells. As the T cells, there's also a specific B cell for this disease. These T cells start to search for the B cell. And once the B cell is found, it activates it. The B cells also start to clone, and when there is enough clones, they straight up go to the battlefield and start to produce antibodies. These antibodies are like crab with a Y-shaped crab pincers, and they will join the bacteria together and make them unable to battle. Then our macrophages get in there and start eating them alive. Now, once this is started, the bacteria in the death or at the last steps, and after one day left, then the bacteria are all dead. And you can see your cut in your finger is now just a little bit of reddish color. And after the war is over, the macrophages, neutrophils, T cells and B cells explode or die to save resources. But some of the T cells go into a chamber and become the memory cell and stores the tissue till you are dead. And whenever the same disease attacks again, the T cells activate and finish the job much more fast. And that concludes my topic about the immune system. Friends, I hope you got a fair idea about the immune system. As always, please like my video and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button for more videos like this. Thank you for your time. Remember, your motivation is my inspiration. Thank you.